Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, I am OverHugs, and I'd like to welcome you back to Building Bread. Thanks for choosing to join us on the adventure today. Today we are starting off at our villager trading hall, and there's a big reason for that. We are now complete on the first floor. This project has been quite a while in the making, so I'm really happy that we've gotten to this point. We've done it on a couple of live streams, and now we've gotten to the point of where the first floor is structurally complete. So let's go over some of the changes that happened since the last time we visited. If you missed our first episode about the villager trading hall, the way that this works is each row contains a profession of villagers, and each row is 20 different villagers long. So this gives us the ability to do things like have every enchant in the game. Or if we go further down, it gives us a supply of things like glass, as much redstone and lapis as we need, all the different terracotta that we can get off of this, and any color banner that we could possibly ever want. Up here are some of the new rows that we've had, and before we get into that, let's go sleep. Ah, a lovely new sunrise on the villager trading hall. So these are the new rows that we've constructed since the last time that we covered this. This row contains armorsmiths, weaponsmiths, and toolsmiths. And the reason why this is a combined row is realistically, you don't need this many. If we look at it, you get pretty much all of the benefits you could possibly want from pretty much one. As we go through, they all sell about the same thing, which is why we didn't bother creating more than a single portion of a row for each. But this is really powerful because if you look, it gives you all the diamond gear you could ever need without having to dig for diamonds. So if we ever break a tool, or if we lose our gear from lava or falling into the void or anything else like that, we have the replacement, and all we need to come up with is the netherite. And yes, I said all we need to come up with. It's not that easy, but at least we don't have to come up with the diamonds too. I wanted to talk about the weaponsmiths, the toolsmiths, the armorers, and the fletchers, because none of those are going to require a new farm, and so we're not going to come back and visit them again outside of this video. When fletchers are fully leveled, you get these arrows that have potion effects, and you can see right here we have an arrow of slowness and an arrow of the turtle master. This is something that we could do in order to go through with some achievements where you have to get potion effects. But I don't know if we'll do that. Arrows do cause damage even when shot out of a dispenser, so we may just stick to potion bottles themselves. Finally, the other rows that we have created that we will come back to are fishermen and butchers down here in the end. Both of these will require farms that we don't have today, so you know what's coming now, right? That's another episode. But because of that, we'll be seeing our friends here again. So this is the completed first floor of our trading hall. It's 10 rows and 200 villagers. The final complete project will be about another 5 rows, which we'll build on top of it. As you can see, some of the framework already exists today. Other things that we'll do with this project is to actually make it into a building. If you remember, this is going to be a concert hall. So the stage is going to be here, we're going to build up the actual building around it, and by the time that we're done, this is going to be enormous, and you can really now get a sense of the scale. I'm delighted that we've made it this far and that the end of the project is now in range, but that's not all we're going to be doing. Let's fly back to our base and get on to the rest of today's activities. And here we are back at our main base. Last episode, we went through and we created a kelp farm. As part of building our kelp farm right here, we discovered a mineshaft, and we haven't covered mineshafts here on the series before. So let's go down in here and talk a bit about it. Mineshafts are, you can tell that you're in a mineshaft because they will have these pre-done tunnels that have these support structures. And one of the advantages of mineshafts is they typically have more ores. You'll see a lot more of iron and coal, and if you're in a Badlands, you will see a ton of gold. If you're ever short on gold, the Badlands is a good place to go through and visit. Other features that you see are these chests in minecarts, which when you go through can have things like rails and food and enchanted books and ores. They also can have an enchanted golden apple, which is one of the rarest items in the Minecraft game. It looks kind of like this, except with the enchanting glow, and it is substantially more powerful than the regular golden apples, which we can craft in order to cure our villagers. You can't craft enchanted golden apples anymore. That was removed in a previous version of Minecraft. So the only way you can find them is actually by this discovery process. Other things you will find are these webs, and you've seen us use these before as alignment tools, but generally the reason why they're here is because of one of the other mobs that you will often find in caves, and those are cave spiders. Speaking of cave spider spawners, you may notice something here that doesn't quite look like a normal thing that you'd find in a cave. And that's because we found ourselves a cave spider spawner, and we built a farm for it on stream. So let's go over here. Over here is our cave spider spawner farm. We've basically taken it and converted it so that it has a full switch that allows us to turn the farm on or off. And we've gone through and decorated it a bit, and really none of this serves any specific purpose. This could be any container that you want, and if you remember back from our zombie spawner, we created one of these way back early in this series, and I think that was like episode 3. So in order to go through here a bit, let's get OverHugs on so we can zip in and show some of the features of the farm itself. And now we're on OverHugs, so we can see OverHugs just sitting there. And one of the things that I wanted to show is up here, we have a number of lights that are turned on by the switch, and that largely prevents this spider spawner from being able to spawn. You'll notice it is spinning around, and we do have a spider in here. It's very difficult to 100% prevent spawning, but this will almost completely avoid the problem itself. This construction is pretty basic. It's pretty similar to what we've seen before, where we're using water streams in order to funnel any mob that spawns into this central area, which pushes them down into a killing chamber. We also have magma blocks down here to keep the spiders from sitting on the floor. You'll note this one is up above trying to get out. Cave spiders are probably one of the most annoying mobs in Minecraft because they love to climb the walls. And this is a problem that you'll have with almost any spider farm, but they do tend to like to be in the corners more than anything else, which is why we put the water streams in there in order to push them down. So otherwise, this is a pretty basic farm. One of the things I wanted to be able to show is exactly where the mobs will spawn on a spawner, and to do that I've downloaded a mod called Bounding Box Outline. And that allows us to see in this green line exactly where any mobs will spawn with the spawner itself. This is the visualization of the 9x9x3 that we've talked about before, along with the green line that shows how far that you can be away from a spawner before it will spawn. And so as we come out here, you'll see this line will go to orange and then to red. And red is where it will not spawn at all. So this shows you exactly where you can be and where the safe area is whenever you're trying to figure out how to construct your farm with your spawners. And that's one of the reasons I really like it. Like, you can count it out, but this is just a great visualization and shows you. So why don't we flip back over to OverHugs and turn off the lights, and you can see the spawning itself. And we get one in the very beginning. Spider spawners can be between 1 and 4, and it's every 10 to 45 seconds. You see the spider is desperately trying to climb out. This is what they love to do, but largely they do get pushed into the spawn area itself. And here we go with 4. This is a 4 spawn, so this is the maximum that you'll see, and you can see the spiders are starting to build up. They're getting pushed into the area, but they are resisting as much as they can. So that's about enough, I think, for OverHugs. Let's go back to OverHugs. Alright, so now that we're here, let's talk a bit about cave spiders. Cave spiders are an incredibly annoying mob because they're not even half a block tall. If you notice here, we have a slab and we have an iron trapdoor to keep them from coming out. If we didn't have this trapdoor, they could very easily fit through and get to us, and that would make this farm kind of pointless. The other thing that makes them really annoying is if we come over here, you'll notice they immediately poison us. And poison is a dangerous effect in Minecraft in that it works against your regeneration. It won't kill you, but it will take you all the way down to 1 heart. And it lasts quite a while, as you can see. So coming across a couple of cave spiders, they can hit you and the poison will continue to damage you, preventing regeneration. So they are very dangerous. You'll also notice that as part of this, even with our sharpness 5 sword, 1 swing doesn't kill them. And that's why we have a special sword over here. I've made a different sword, which we're calling Shelob's Bane, out of the Lord of the Rings giant spider character. And the reason that it's useful is that it has Bane of Arthropods on it, which is an enchant we almost never use otherwise. This specifically will affect spiders more than sharpness 5, and you can see as we take a swing, we kill them all. Anybody who is in range of sweeping edge, it will kill them, and that's the only reason we have it, quite frankly. It's more efficient to kill the spiders themselves. Why do we even have this farm? We have a ton of string from our general mob farm, and the reason is for the spider eyes. We need spider eyes for potions, particularly for our villager potions, in order to make potions of weakness, in order to cure zombie villagers. We'll also be doing it quite a bit with the potion episode, but yeah, that's another episode. Look at my diamond sword. Isn't it shiny? So one of the other intricacies of this farm is because you have to stay so far away, you don't exactly gain the experience of the spiders themselves because we're further away than the experience pickup. And you can solve that just by, after you've killed enough of the spiders, you can come into the corner here and just start picking up the experience. And you'll see it's enough to repair gear, and it's a decent amount. We don't want to stay there too long because, again, we'll get poisoned whenever the spiders come and kill us, but it does allow us to gather it up over time. So this is our cave spider farm, and let's remember to put the sword back so we don't forget where it is. If you're going to be playing on this world when I release it, please note that the up and down elevators that we've constructed are right here under the bridge leading to the lighthouse itself. I didn't want to have it be totally exposed, but I do want to make sure that if you are going to play on this world, you know where it is. So come on down and check it out. And lastly today, I wanted to give a bit of an update on the Nether Hub, as well as answer some questions that I've gotten a lot on stream. So it made me realize that a lot of people probably don't know these things. Now that we're here in the Nether Hub, you can see that we've completed quite a bit of it. We've spent some time working on this on stream, and because of that, we've been able to make quite a bit of progress, even getting to the point of where we're putting a good amount of time into these secondary hallways, which makes me really happy. It's nice again to see the progress made on these projects. But the main thing I wanted to talk about while we're here is the beacon effects that you can see in the upper right now. A question I often get is, how are you getting beacons in the Nether? There's the ceiling, so you can't get clear sky access, and that's true. But let's zip over here and I'll show you exactly what's going on. If we look over here, we have a beacon pyramid that is a larger than normal pyramid because I want to be able to do multiple beacons here so that we get all the effects. And a piglin is over here to say hello. Not part of my video, please. So you see that these beacons are all active, and you might ask yourself, how exactly does that work? Well, let's zip over here into the roof and I will show you. Gotta be a little careful about flying because you don't want to break your face. So now that we're up here in the Nether roof, if you look up here, we found ourselves 3 different pieces of bedrock that are at Y127. And you can see that by pulling up the F3 debug screen and looking over here at the targeted block. When we have the targeted block up, you can see 127, 127, 127, 126. If you have your beacons directly under 127 at bedrock, that counts as sky access. So you can go and do this and still have beacons within the Nether. It is a little difficult to find multiple ones that are at that level, as the way that the world generates, usually you'll only get 1 like this or maybe 2. We got very lucky that we got 3 here, and hopefully our luck will continue when we go and add more beacons into the Nether Hub itself. The other thing I wanted to point out is that if you notice, this is a much larger than normal beacon pyramid. And this is what you do if you want to have multiple beacons. This orientation will allow you to place up to 6 beacons in here, and you could even extend it to do more than that if you really wanted to. The important thing is just that you have the blocks in the orientation, not that that's all it will do. So this one does 6. You could do up to as many as you wanted. You just have to keep making this pyramid larger and larger. And with that, I think we're going to call it an episode today. Once again, I want to thank you for choosing to join us on the adventure. I have been OverHugs, and this has been Building Bread. As a reminder, I donate all of the profits I make off of this to local food banks, so I would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, or tell a friend. Together, we can help people that are in need. I hope you have the most wonderful of days, and I'll see you soon.